The gears of fate begin to turn. Beneath the mask of mystery lies greed and destiny, as Shen Tian stands confidently at the eye of the storm, marking the beginning of the saga. Amidst dancing pink petals, a terrifying energy erupts. Blinding light accompanies a deafening boom, instantly swallowing the ancient architecture ahead. As the smoke clears, the formidable enemy lies defeated. Shockingly, the victor standing atop the ruins is a tipsy young man, toying with golden spheres. He laughs wildly, stepping on his foe with overwhelming arrogance. The crowd gasps, recognizing the legendary genius of Tai by Heavenly Cave. The Green Lotus Sword King, Li Chang'e. Despite his drunken hiccups, his power strikes fear into a golden core expert. The crowd buzzes, captivated by the contrast between his reckless demeanor and terrifying strength. Yet, facing his sister Lianer, the arrogant Sword King instantly melts into a doting brother. His eyes soften as he vows to shield her from every danger in the world. The warmth vanishes at the mention of Shunlang. Li Chang'e's expression darkens instantly as he interrogates his sister about this unknown brat, filling the air with tension. Li Chang'e tries to drag her home, but she resists fiercely. Lianer, shy yet determined, speaks of love at first sight, sending her brother's blood pressure skyrocketing. To prove this destined bond, Lianer presents an oar as a token and threatens to elope. Her reckless declaration leaves her father and brother sweating in panic. Meanwhile, rumors of the prince eloping with the little spirit fairy spread like wildfire. Shen Tian, the subject of the gossip, listens from the shadows, his eyes dead with despair. Li Chang'e tries to quell the scene and leave, but Lianer screams her refusal in public, insisting on staying with Shenlang. The embarrassment reaches a boiling point. Desperate, Li Chang'e threatens that father will break Shen Tian's legs. But Lianer counters with a tearful vow to die with him, her resolve silencing the entire crowd. The rage finally turns toward the innocent Shen Tian. Li Chang'e issues a death threat. Unless you're very lucky, you will die. For the luckless Shen Tian, this is a death sentence. Shen Tian panics internally. Lianer tries to explain she takes love slowly, only to be ruthlessly mocked by her brother. The misunderstanding only deepens. Desperate to survive, Shen Tian screams the truth. It's just about the oar, not love. But his honest plea only shatters the girl's romantic fantasy. The air freezes. Tears well up in the girl's eyes, but the oppressive atmosphere doesn't lift. A greater storm is brewing. A new chapter unfolds. Although Shen Tian denies the romance, in everyone's eyes, he is firmly nailed to the cross of being both a child of luck and a heartbreaker. Chaos erupts. The brothers rage, the sisters crying, and Shen Tian's screams collide. No one listens to reason as confusion drowns out sanity. At the critical moment, Lianer draws her sword, threatening suicide. This insane act shocks the entire crowd, leaving even Shen Tian dumbfounded. Watching the girl ready to die for him after just 1 hour, Shen Tian roasts her internally. Is this a diehard fan? This is way too hardcore. Watching his sister's shy demeanor, Li Chang'e marvels at how love strikes faster than a tornado. But before he can finish his narcissistic musings, Lianer approaches Shen Tian with a dagger, startling him into an immediate defensive stance. To intimidate him, Shen Tian activates his con artist mode, claiming to be from Qiuming Mountain, under the Heavenly Venerable. Upon hearing Heavenly Venerable, Li Chang'e's face turns pale with terror, pupils dilating in shock. That's a legendary figure. In reality, Shen Tian is panicking internally. He made it all up, just as he fears being exposed. He has a stroke of genius, using his spiritual power to initiate sound transmission. A mysterious voice booms directly into Li Chang'e's mind amidst flashing purple light. Speaking as the Heavenly Venerable, Shen Tian coldly threatens, expose his identity, and his own father will castrate him. Crushed by this mental pressure, Li Chang'e desperately brings up his own master, the infinite sword god, attempting to forge a connection in this absurd standoff. Cornered, Li Chang'e desperately holds a blade to Lianer's neck, feigning ruthlessness for family honor. He earnestly persuades her that to avoid a scandalous rumor of elopement, they must return to the Tai by cave immediately. Switching tactics, Li Chang'e uses fear. He holds the struggling Lianer tight, warning sternly that the Seven Treasures Gourd Seed will attract endless demons. To avoid getting Brother Shen killed, she must leave. Her anger melts into reluctance, and she tearfully agrees. The atmosphere softens as Li Chang'e, acting like a weary father, embraces his sister and offers Shen Tian a bait, this separation is temporary. He invites brother Shen to propose marriage at the Tai by cave anytime, a promise hiding calculation beneath the warmth. Shen Tian breaks into a cold sweat at the word marriage. While Lianer beams with expectation, his inner voice screams in terror. A sister-complex brother, a daughter-complex father, plus his own bad luck. Going to Tai Bai Cave would be a death sentence. Since the act has gone this far, Li Chang'e generously produces a precious sword god token. Holding this treasure, which contains a sealed, nascent soul attack, Shen Tian marvels that this brother-in-law, despite his sister complex, is truly generous. Shen Tian feigns surprise at the lavish gift, but Li Chang'e proudly declares that Tai Bai Cave never takes things for free. Internally, Shen Tian is ecstatic. For him right now, this life-saving sword god token is far more valuable than that troublesome gourd. With this token acting as a nascent soul bodyguard, Shen Tian finally feels safe enough to roam the great Yin kingdom. He then shamelessly asks to borrow Lianer's sword, causing the girl to blush deeply, mistaking his request for a romantic exchange of love tokens. Sure enough, Lianer shyly offers her clear water sword as a token of love. Shen Tian's scalp tingles with panic as he mentally screams, "You've got it all wrong. I just wanted the sword to cut my finger for the blood pact, because biting it hurts. I'm not proposing." Seeing his sister actually give her father's clear water sword to this wild man, Li Chang'e completely loses it, eyes popping out in shock. That was their father's prized gift. It seems a girl in love truly forgets her father and brother's feelings. Li Chang'e painfully emphasizes that the sword is a priceless spiritual weapon, but he's helpless. Prioritizing the gourd seed's safety, he forcibly takes the reluctant Lianer away, leaving behind a fierce message. "Once you settle with your sect, my father and I will await you at Qinglian Peak." As a pillar of fire shoots into the sky, the troublesome siblings finally depart. Shen Tian lets out a long sigh of relief, wiping cold sweat from his forehead. He laments helplessly. He just wanted to snag some luck. How did he end up with a fiancée? Being too handsome is truly a dangerous sin in this world. Looking back at their brief encounter, a trace of envy flashes in Shen Tian's eyes. Lianer, originally with a red aura, now has a golden halo, and Li Chang'e is equally blessed. These siblings are true chosen ones, while he, the king of bad luck, can only sigh at their retreating figures. Still, at least he scored a spiritual sword. Shen Tian struggles to drag the heavy, clear water sword, grumbling that he can't fly it yet. To avoid demons on the main road, he trudges along a small path, finally returning home safe and sound. Meanwhile, the legend of the myriad spirit garden spreads like wildfire. Rumors of Shun Outyin turning stone into gold grow intense. When asked, an insider is so excited, describing the miracle that he spits tea all over an elder's face. The legend is just that shocking. In the darkness, a battered young man angrily complains to his father. This was no simple brawl. They suspect the suddenly famous Shun Outyin has a mysterious connection to the Li family. Is this a forceful warning from the Li clan? Experience speaks volumes as the father and son analyze the situation, concluding this is a setup by the Li family. Regardless of the truth, there's only one conclusion. Shun Outyin, backed by the Li family, is someone they absolutely cannot afford to offend. Morning light breaks through the window as Shen Tian struggles to sit up, exhaustion etched deep in his eyes. Despite his servant's plea to rest, his gaze hardens. He cannot stop now, not when changing his fate is so close. Cold water sharpens his senses. In the mirror, the doom-laden black halo finally shows specks of white. A confident smirk forms. Just a few more big opportunities, and this cursed bad luck will be washed away forever. He tosses the heavy sword to Uncle Gay, terrifying the old servant who fears for the token of love. Shen Tian grumbles internally. Carrying this back-breaking thing for 30 miles yesterday was pure torture. Transformed into the enigmatic Master Outyin, he stands beside banners proclaiming celibacy, radiating aloofness. Yet below, the crowd of maidens erupts in love-struck screams, their eyes practically devouring him. Trying to calm the frenzy, Shen Tian awkwardly advises them to drink hot water. Unexpectedly, this is taken as a divine romantic gesture, triggering a fresh wave of pink bubbles and even louder screams. The selection for destined ones begins. The chosen twin-tailed girl cheers as if she won the lottery, while the rejected weep in despair. Shen Tian's cryptic comfort keeps their emotions dancing perfectly in his palm. Gathering his lucky targets, Shen Tian leads the procession to the heavenly spirit pavilion. Watching the crowd follow blindly, he smirks inwardly. Curiosity is truly a weakness human nature cannot resist. Meanwhile, Prince Shin Ao recognizes the disguised shopkeeper song. Before he can rage, he freezes in shock. The usually arrogant merchant is bowing respectfully to Shen Tian, acting like a humble servant. Shen Ao probes with a fake smile, but shopkeeper song retorts sharply. Tension rises until a child's cheer reveals the truth. Master Shun is here to appraise and find peerless treasures publicly. Suspicion clouds Shun Ao's mind. Is this a scam or true skill? He decides to watch closely. Meanwhile, shopkeeper song places the chosen on the table. The room falls silent, tension stretching to the breaking point. The hammer strikes, stone shatters, and blinding green light floods the room. 3 premium spirit crystals. Though he knew the outcome, Shun Tian gasps in feigned shock. A performance worthy of an Oscar. Jackpot. The girl weeps with joy as shopkeeper song instantly offers 3,000 spirit stones. Clutching the heavy bags of wealth, she trembles in ecstasy, her eyes shining with infinite worship for Shen Tian. The girl gratefully offers a heavy bag of thanks. Shen Tian turns away, keeping a straight face, but his heart races like a storm. This isn't just gratitude. It's a massive, tempting fortune screaming his name. Faced with massive wealth, Shen Tian's inner angel and demon clash violently. His conscience screams, hold on, for your master persona, for future gains. You cannot break character now. Gritting his teeth, he forces himself to push the spirit stones back, feigning the stance of a noble master who views money as dirt. I said I take nothing. Do not speak of this again, or you insult my Tao. But the girls play the moral blackmail card. The purple-clad maiden drops to her knees, tears in her eyes. If master refuses payment, I refuse this luck. Shen Tian breaks into a cold sweat. Seriously? One by one, they all kneel, forcing money on him. Shen Tian tries to lift them, but they refuse to budge. The awkwardness is enough to curl his toes as he screams internally. Why is giving money more aggressive than robbing? Just then, the quick-witted girl offers the perfect excuse. This isn't payment, it's a donation for your sex charity. Shen Tian is almost moved to tears. What a brilliant justification. A true lifesaver. Thus begins a bizarre reverse bargaining. Shen Tian pleads to take less, while the girl insists on giving more. He screams internally. Isn't the script totally backward? Why do I have to beg to take less money? The loot distribution begins in a dazzle of gold. Shen Tian generously splits the spirit stones, watching their luck halos turn a vibrant green. With over 4,000 stones pocketed from this investment, he is practically drowning in a sea of gold. Yet, wealth always invites danger. In the shadows, shopkeeper song warns the younger generation with a grim expression. This massive fortune rivals the nation's taxes, but one wrong move could drag the entire family into the grave. To curry favor with this expert, shopkeeper song offers a spatial ring worth 10,000 stones with a flattering smile. Shen Tian raises an eyebrow at the lavish gift, wondering, is this old fox after my mining skills, or does he just think I'm handsome? Since it is offered out of respect, Shen Tian accepts without further hesitation. As the ring slides onto his finger, a gleam of calculation flashes in his eyes. Refusing such a free gift would be a waste. Once Shen Tian leaves, shopkeeper Song's expression darkens. Facing his son's confusion, he stares at the retreating figure and reveals a shocking deduction. This is no ordinary man, but likely the legendary sixth prince of Great Yin, Shen Ao. Ambition ignites in shopkeeper Song's eyes. That sword belongs to the Li family's princess. For her to gift, it implies an extraordinary status. If they can cling to this powerful connection, the Song family will surely soar to the top. The scene shifts to a rainy alley, where the atmosphere turns grim. To maintain the master's persona, no mistakes are allowed. The gray-haired servant fiercely warns his subordinate. Any offense against that man will be paid for with their life. In the courtyard, Shen Tian hands the newly acquired Chinquan ring to Uncle Gue. Facing the old servant's fearful refusal, his gaze is warm but firm. To him, Uncle Gue is family. But his tone turns serious as he orders Gue to perform the blood binding, ensuring his own royal bloodline remains hidden. Just then, a swarm of fanatical girls floods the courtyard. Facing these fangirls screaming immortal brother, Shen Tian turns with an air of mystery, randomly selecting a few numbers, instantly igniting the crowd's excitement. Follow me. Shen Tian strides forward, trailed by love-struck maidens. But when he halts and looks up at the plaque of Wanling Pavilion shrouded in purple mist, the expression beneath his mask freezes. To dominate the room, the blindfolded Shen Tian wields a short stick, erupting with golden light. With a loud bang, the stubborn rock shatters, spilling spiritual energy. This feat of blind, stone opening instantly draws deafening screams of adoration. The crowd splits into two extremes. A short-haired girl pumps her fist, screaming demigod descended with zeal, while men in the corner cross their arms, jealousy written on their faces, mocking it as a cheap trick. A muscular man scoffs, flexing his biceps and pointing to the Xiao Lingxian banner. He mocks that these petty tricks are nothing compared to their goddess of Wanling Garden, Xiao Lingxian, not even worth carrying her shoes. Chapter 14 concludes. The excitement continues. Stay tuned for updates from the Scanlation team. The scene shifts to a group of die-hard fans holding protest signs. They view Shen Tian as a thorn in their side, angrily accusing this so-called immortal master of being a shameless fraud leeching off Xiao Lingxian's popularity. Just as tensions peak, a purple-haired maiden intervenes. Instead of getting angry, she enjoys the scent of sour jealousy in the air. But realizing the situation is spiraling, she switches to chibi mode. Retreat is the best strategy. Little Lingxian is here. A shout turns the scene into a fan meet. The purple-haired maiden approaches, reveling in her own beauty. Meanwhile, Shen Tian stands amidst the chaos, sweating bullets. It's too late to slip away now. Enemies cross paths. Shen Tian screams internally, terrified his fake identity will be exposed. Opposite him, little Lingxian looks cold but is panicking just as hard. The lie she spun using her aunt's name is about to be busted right in front of him. You bastard named Shun. Little Lingxian's outburst leaves Shen Tian bewildered, sweat pouring down. Just as he thinks he's doomed, the atmosphere shifts. Pink ripples fill her eyes as she hallucinates a romantic reunion. The misunderstanding just got massive. A storm erupts without warning. The purple-haired girl grips his collar, screaming his surname in a mix of shame and rage. Pink waves of drama ignite the crowd's gossip, spreading the misunderstanding like wildfire. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner, the atmosphere drops to freezing. Faced with questions, her eyes widen in shock. The man she branded a scammer is actually the legendary immortal master? Memories strike like thunder. Before the doubts can settle, the brutal truth closes in. The woman confirms it, while the girl tries to mask her panic with anger. Her 8-year grudge now becomes a shameful testament to her inability to face destiny. When the legendary Seven Treasures Gourd Seed is mentioned, all skepticism shatters. Her pupils quake, her disdain collapsing into ruin. The man who stole her spotlight and mocked her is truly a master of the spiritual veins. Overwhelming shame thins the air. She can no longer maintain her haughty facade. With a clumsy excuse, she flees head bowed, her retreating figure screaming of embarrassment and a desperate need to disappear. The protagonist flees, leaving chaos behind. Facing crazed fans and irrational female logic, the snub man's eyes burn with rage. His last thread of reason snaps, and a roar for dignity is about to erupt. Far from the storm, Shen Tian enjoys his harvest. Bad luck fades, his lucky halo swells. Fanatical followers form a cult around him. In this absurd worship, he reaps not just spirit stones, but souls. Night falls, and the bustle fades. Exhausted, Shen Tian returns, wanting only to check his luck halo in peace. But the eerie light spilling from his door instantly pulls his nerves taut. Pushing open the door, he sees not an empty bed, but an elegant silhouette. The purple-haired girl sits smiling, gazing at his frozen back. The air fills with a deeply unsettling surprise. Meanwhile, across dimensions, energy gathers behind the scenes. Like electricity crackling through the screen, it reminds us that behind this spectacular story, a dedicated team keeps the wheels turning. Shen Tian doubts his own eyes. Linger acts like the lady of the house, serving tea like a dutiful wife. But this excessive hospitality only terrifies him. Nothing good comes from such sudden kindness. It gets worse. She offers a massage and casually drops his biggest secret, the Phoenix Stone. Shen Tian's pupils shrink, heart pounding. How does she know? How much did she see? The mask drops. Linger reveals she stalked him all day in disguise. From suspecting a scam to witnessing miracles, she watched him like a seasoned hunter patiently observing her prey. 5 hours of surveillance flipped her world upside down. Her scorn has morphed into fanatical worship. She no longer sees a scammer, but a peerless master. But for Shen Tian, this extreme attention is a catastrophe. What do you want? Panic turns to defensive rage as Shen Tian instinctively blasts the encroaching girl away. Misunderstanding and conflict ignite, throwing the room into chaos, leaving the girl on the floor in bewildered shock. Just as Shen Tian expects revenge, Ling clings to his leg, teary-eyed, with a suffocating request. Take me as your apprentice. This twist makes Shen Tian sweat bullets. If she finds out he's cheating with his system, he's finished. Refuse. He must refuse. Shen Tian feigns aloofness, playing the "I only guide the destined" card to escape. Though her hurt eyes sting his conscience, he must harden his heart and walk away to protect his secret. But he underestimated her tenacity. Ling snaps, clinging to his arm like an octopus, sobbing that she doesn't care about logic. She only wants Brother Shen. This isn't an apprenticeship. It's an explosion of suffocating infatuation. Faced with such shameless clinging, Shen Tian is helpless. Ling leans on his shoulder, intoxicated, offering an irrefutable logic. How can someone so handsome be bad? In this superficial world, Shen Tian is utterly defeated. Facing Linger's intense questioning, Shen Tian tries to scare her off by claiming to be a Sea King, a notorious playboy, but she naively mistakes it for a royal title, gazing at him with admiration. When Shen Tian tries to refuse her firmly, Linger covers her ears like a brat, ignoring him completely before diving into his bed to claim it as her own. In the dead of night, the room's true owner is relegated to the cold floor. Listening to the soft snores from his bed, Shen Tian squats in defeat, screaming internally. While Shen Tian questions his life choices in despair, Linger secretly celebrates, convinced that his refusal to take advantage of her proves he is a truly noble master. Suddenly, Uncle Gue tries to sneak away but is caught red-handed by Shen Tian. The old servant sweats profusely, stammering that his matchmaking scheme was for the prince's own good. Uncle Gue urges the prince to enjoy life's pleasures, but Shen Tian sighs in exhaustion. The path to immortality is a money pit, and he has neither the time nor the funds for romance. To break this cycle of powerlessness, Shen Tian makes a shocking decision. He offers a massive fortune in spirit stones to Uncle Gue and Qin Gao, leaving the loyal servant stunned and frantically refusing. Shen Tian's gaze is unyielding as he forces the stones into the old servant's hands. Moved by his master's heavy trust, Uncle Gue tears up, his body erupting with a golden aura of absolute loyalty. At that moment, Uncle Gue presents the long-forgotten Fire Sutra. Seeing the dusty manual, Shen Tian realizes with a jolt that the key to strength has been with him all along. Memories flood back of the original owner weeping in poverty, leaving the treasure to gather dust. But now, clutching his wealth, Shen Tian smirks with confidence. This time, the story will be different. In this moment, he no longer hides his emotions. Gripping the spirit stones, tears stream down Shen Tian's face as he silently whispers to the late Princess Lan, "Your child is finally grown up." Steadying his breath, Shen Tian clears his mind. He refuses to repeat the failures of the past. His gaze locks onto the hardest, yet most domineering path of cultivation. Energy surges as he decisively chooses the ancient taboo, god and demon body refinement. It is a perilous path that mimics primordial beasts, forging the flesh to rival the heavens themselves. Violent energy pierces his pores like steel needles, tearing through every inch of muscle and bone. Shen Tian screams in agony, a torture necessary for his metamorphosis. The medicated bath boils, scorching his body like magma. Shen Tian feels as if he's about to explode, but he grits his teeth, his consciousness teetering on the edge of collapse. After the pain comes a surge of power. Feeling the vitality coursing through him, Shen Tian's eyes blaze as he shouts frantically to the servants. "Not enough. I need more stones. Keep them coming." Outside, Qin Gao and Uncle Gue tremble in fear, worrying the prince has gone mad. But inside the sealed room, golden light erupts. Fueled by endless resources, Shen Tian finally shatters his limits. The doors blast open. As the smoke clears, a muscular figure steps out. Shen Tian emerges shirtless, radiating a terrifying pressure, and arrogantly challenges Uncle Gue. "Come on, hit me with everything you've got." Fists fly, shattering the air. Shen Tian meets the cultivator's spiritual energy with pure physical force. As their fists collide, a terrifying shockwave sweeps the courtyard. He is truly reborn. Flames roar as a heavy fist descends. Shen Tian crashes down like a meteor, his crimson fire colliding violently with Uncle Gui's azure shield, tearing the very air apart. As the dust settles, Uncle Gui stares at his trembling hand in awe. This is the god-fiend body refinement. His Highness's flesh has been forged into a divine weapon. Chapter 18 unfolds, and the gears of fate turn once more. With enemies lurking and dangers ahead, Shen Tian's path to defying destiny is paved with blood and fire. In the misty springs, Uncle Gui praises his power endlessly. Shen Tian smiles, but his heart bleeds. This invincible strength cost a whopping 800 spirit stones. Speaking of resources, Shen Tian touches his head, feigning mystery. With the ability to see luck halos, spirit stones are no issue. His gaze hardens. A new cultivation plan is set. Morning light barely touches the ground when a casual meal run turns into a nightmare. A terrifying aura erupts at the street's end, and a cry for help pierces the silence. It's Linger. As a ruthless blue blade slashes down, Shen Tian's pupils dilate. He watches in horror as the purple-haired girl screams amidst the brutality. Danger is here. How dare you commit violence before His Highness? Uncle Gui explodes with rage, launching forward instantly. Anyone who touches whom the prince protects chooses death. The rain curtain is torn apart by the clash. The assassin parries while letting out a piercing laugh, mockingly sneering at Shen Tian's attempt to play the hero. In that split second, Shen Tian sees it through the rain, the glow of opportunity. Fear is replaced by calculation. This isn't just a crisis. It's a golden chance to turn the tables. The chase leads to a desolate cliff under a blood-red sun. The black-clad figure holds Linger hostage at the edge, his silhouette radiating a suffocating pressure. A blade presses against the girl's neck as the figure laughs coldly. He knows human weakness well, using Linger as a cheap bargaining chip, trampling on their morals. The mask drops. The figure spins around, eyes boiling with killing intent. His target was never Linger. It's Shen Tian. He is a demon here to claim a life. Boom! A purple tide of energy swallows everything. Shen Tian is blasted back, chest in agony. The enemy has seen through his body cultivation and greedily craves that power. Despair descends. With a deafening blast, the true power gap is revealed, Jin Dan's stage. Before this monster, all resistance seems pale and futile. This old slave will hold him, coughing blood in the rain. Uncle Gui stands firm before Shen Tian. His frail back burns with suicidal loyalty, fighting for the prince's survival. Too naive, Elder Black Blood sneers, looking down at them like trapped beasts. From the moment they left the spirit garden, this sky-hiding formation was already their grave. A golden barrier rises, sealing heaven and earth. Linger watches in horror as her body freezes. They are bugs in amber, unable to even send a cry for help. Death or slavery. Elder Black Blood produces a sinister, heart-controlling pill, grinning viciously. He wants not just the treasure, but to turn the prince into an obedient puppet. At this moment of life and death, lightning strikes Shen Tian's mind as he looks at that hideous face. The fog of memory clears. He recognizes him. This might be the only key to survival. Beneath the starlit cover lies a massive twist of fate. Surrounded by many, Shen Tian seems like the chosen one. Yet beneath the surface lies cold sweat and a silent roar. I am really not the child of luck. Crisis strikes abruptly. The mysterious swordsman declares himself as Black Blood of the Holy Church, his words shattering the calm like a thunderclap, dragging everyone into an unknown vortex. High above, verbal sparring instantly turns into a clash of spiritual power. The woman in red questions his origin, while Black Blood arrogantly claims that before his Holy Spirit, even the Shenshao sacred ground is insignificant. The words Holy Spirit strike a nerve in Shen Tian. His pupils constrict, cold sweat drips, and as he rapidly scans his memory inventory, a terrifying name surfaces: the Evil Spirit Cult. The memories are nauseating. These lunatics, who forego spirit stones to sacrifice living flesh and blood, are the most cruel predators lurking in the darkness. This is the true face of the so-called Holy Spirit. The mountain wind carries a chill. Shen Tian tries to trade himself for his companion's safety, but Black Blood is unmoved. Holding the mind-controlling pill, his eyes hold only cruel intent. Only you will live as my puppet. Facing Black Blood's humiliation and threats towards Linger, Shen Tian isn't panicked but terrifyingly calm. Watching the monologuing villain, he sneers internally. Is it an eternal truth that villains die from talking too much? Black Blood thinks victory is assured, claiming the others are dead. But Shen Tian smiles, watching him like a circus monkey. He contemptuously calls out Blackie, his eyes gleaming with the confidence to turn the tide. The trap is sprung. Shen Tian taps his finger, tone playful. You checked one companion and found him weak? He might not be your opponent, but that doesn't mean they aren't. The snare is already set. Before his voice fades, the sky tears open. Dozens of disciplined committee sword cultivators descend like divine soldiers. The roar master, we are here, shakes the valley. Black Blood looks up in terror, his arrogance instantly turning into cold sweat of despair. No words needed. Only the ultimate accumulation of sword intent fills the air. The brilliance of demon slaying gathers at the blade's edge, blue and yellow energy interlocking like the light of judgment, locking onto the evil below. Execute. With a single command, the sword formation crashes down. Devastating streams of energy tear through the air, smashing into the ground like a meteor shower, completely swallowing the insignificant enemy. Too strong. Impossible to resist. In despair, Black Blood unleashes the underworld Bloodhand seal in a desperate struggle, but against the overwhelming explosion, his defense is as fragile as paper. Screams are drowned out by the roar as Black Blood is violently blown away by the shockwave. Until the end, he couldn't believe that the seemingly harmless prince could command the terrifying sword chi of the entire discipline committee. Smoke fills the air, revealing devastation. The aftermath settles, leaving only the battered enemy in dead silence. Shen Tian stands amidst the dust, slightly weary, but his back remains as straight as a pine. Dust settles as Uncle Gue and Qin Gao rush anxiously towards Shen Tian. Your Highness! The call carries the relief of survival. On these ruins that just witnessed life and death, loyalty and concern warm the cold wind. Facing everyone's surprise, Shen Tian smiles calmly. He had planned it all along, ordering Qin Gao to get help. This is Wanling Garden. How could we allow evil to run wild? In this moment, his wisdom shines brighter than his cultivation. The atmosphere finally shifts from tense to joyful. Everyone chatters excitedly, reviewing the calling for backup tactic, overflowing with admiration for Shen Tian, turning a cry for help into a competition for merit, worthy of your highness. Under the stars, the group rejoices, but Shen Tian calculates silently. Though he borrowed strength this time, the word luck seems to quietly flow around him. But is this a blessing or a curse? However, peace is always short-lived. Distant rocks suddenly crack open, and an eerie shriek breaks the night. A new crisis bursts from the earth, and shock climbs onto the maiden's face once again. Amidst crumbling rocks, Elder Black Blood crawls out, face covered in blood. Though cornered, his eyes gleam with manic cunning, for he holds one final card. Accompanying a shrill roar, blood-red sword chi gathers wildly around him, a summons from hell. Ghost Mother, come forth. The earth cracks, and from the eerie mix of blue and crimson light, a terrifying demonic shadow shoots into the sky, instantly shrouding the field in evil aura. The ghost reveals its true form, a mother of 9 children ghost at the half-step nascent soul stage. Surrounded by infant spirits, her shrill cries numb the scalps of all present. The ghost mother's greedy gaze cuts across the battlefield, locking onto the handsome Shen Tian with a sickening grin. My children finally have a father. This evil artifact refined through cruel sacrifice is sickening, but a glint flashes in Shen Tian's eyes. This might be the great opportunity he foresaw. In a flash, the ghost mother lunges like a starving ghoul. Shen Tian moves instantly, using a teleportation talisman to dodge the fatal blow by a hair's breadth. Facing the encroaching enemy, Uncle Gue risks his life to protect his master, but Shen Tian knows there is no retreat. The fire of decisive battle finally ignites in his calm eyes. Holding nothing back, Shen Tian sacrifices the token containing supreme sword intent. Brilliant golden light erupts instantly, like a descending sun swallowing all darkness. Golden sword chi clashes violently with the ghost mother's evil power. A terrifying shockwave sweeps in all directions. In the face of absolute power, evil instantly crumbles. Infinite flow, sword intent. Impossible. Amidst Elder Black Blood's desperate scream, that earth-shattering strike completely crushes all his delusions. As the dust settles, Shen Tian looks at the dimming Tai Bai sword token in his hand. Though pained by the energy drain, survival makes it all worth it. Crisis averted. Shen Tian immediately reverts to his money-grubbing self. Though he claims to be fine, that heavy bag of spirit stones is the best medicine for his soul. Yet the real surprise lies ahead. Floating amidst the ruins, that string of purple beads is the core opportunity for changing his fate, quietly awaiting its new master. Witnessing this scene, the bystanders are dumbstruck. Who could have imagined that this seemingly useless prince possessed such a heaven-defying trump card?